Hello viewer, a warm welcome to Elimu TV where you watch and learn. I'm your biology teacher, Madam Christine Okot, and welcome today to our fifth lesson on biology for 4, still on the same topic, genetics 2, and our subtopic today is going to be on the types of dominance. So let us look at what we're going to learn today in our lesson. First, we're going to review the assignment. We're going to define dominance. We're going to look at complete dominance, incomplete dominance, and codominance. We are going to look at a test cross, and finally, I'm going to give you an assignment. So let us first look at the assignment. Question 1 was give at least 3 reasons why Mendel used the green peas for his experiment. So the reasons were the pea growth is very rapid, so they produce seeds faster, roughly about 3 months. Another reason was self-pollination could be manipulated to allow cross-pollination, that is in fact of fertilization. Then another reason, it was possible to produce many seeds from the pea plant which were growing in one area. Another reason was the pea shows several traits that are easy to distinguish. For example, a plant was either tall or dwarf. It was either green or yellow. Question number 2 was, what is the name given to the generation of offspring produced by the two pure lines? So we call them the F1 or the filial generation. The third question was state Mendel's first law of heredity. So the law states that a pair of characteristics, only one can be represented in a gamete. So what does this mean? It means that for any pair of characteristics, there is only one gene in a gamete, even though there are 2 genes in ordinary body cell. So it takes one from each pair of the parent. So today let us look at dominance. So dominance is the power and influence over another. An allele or a gene that is expressed in organisms. Phenotype. Phenotype is the physical appearance, masking the effect of the recessive allele or the gene when present. So a dominant allele will be masking the recessive allele. It means it's the one which is going to be expressed more in the phenotype. You're going to see more of its genotype in the phenotype than the recessive allele, which its alleles are hidden. So an example of dominance here, we have two breeding parents here. We have the purple flower and the white flower. They both have, one is a dominant allele and the other one is a recessive allele. We're going to look at which one of them is dominant. So when the purple flower and the white flower, they fuse together, the fertilization, so what do they produce? The first generation, all plants are purple. Now it means that the purple here is the dominant allele. Then when all these first generations are fused together, they are producing 3 purple flowers and 1 white flower. So what does it mean? It means that the purple flower is the one which has more dominance over the white flower. So we have 3 types of dominance. The first one, we have incomplete dominance, we have codominance and complete dominance. We're going to look at each of the 3. So we first start by looking at complete dominance. So this is a kind of dominance where the dominant allele completely masks the effect of the recessive allele in the heterozygous condition. So the dominant allele, when it's crossed over with the other recessive allele, it's going to hide the recessive allele, and what is going to be showing is the dominance of it when it forms a heterozygous condition. For example, if it's a tall plant, it has the allele of TT, capital of them, and a short plant which has small t, all of them. It means a heterozygous allele will be formed that has a capital T and a small t. We can also define a dominant allele completely covers up the recessive allele. So there will be no sign of the recessive allele, but the dominant allele is going to be seen. Now, an example of a complete dominance on our illustration here, we have a red flower and a white flower. The red flower has a dominant gene, a homozygous dominant allele, while the white flower has homozygous recessive allele. So what do they produce when they cross fertilization? They are going to produce flowers which are heterozygous. The capital R and the small r, it means they are heterozygous, they are not the same. So it's going to produce 3 red flowers. So what is the dominant allele here? Of course, it's the red flower. So it's going to produce 3 red flowers and a white flower. Now let us look at incomplete dominance. So this is a genetic situation in which one allele does not completely dominate another allele. So in our example here, we have a red flower and a white flower. They are both homozygous dominant. The red flower is homozygous dominant, denoted by the capital R and R. The white flower is also a homozygous dominant, denoted by the letters capital W and capital W. So none of the allele is dominant because of what they produce. They all produce pink flowers. The parent flowers were white and red. So they fuse together, they form pink flower. So heterozygous is the intermediate between the two homozygous. So they use 2 different letters for crossing. So this is an example of a snapdragon flower. When you fuse them together, it means every of them is going to be, none of them is going to be seen in terms of the phenotype, which is the physical appearance. So they both merge to form the pink flowers. So what is the difference between complete dominance and incomplete dominance? In complete dominance, the dominant allele, they will completely mask the recessive one, as in our example, the red flower and the white flower. So the white allele has been masked, has been overpowered, if I may use the word, has been overpowered by the red flower. Because in the products, in the F1 generation, we're only going to find the red flowers. While in complete dominance, neither allele is dominant. If you have a red flower and a white flower, none of the phenotype is going to be either red or white. So they fuse together and they form something which is very new, which is a heterozygous allele, which forms a pink flower. The difference is, in complete dominance, they completely mask the recessive one, while in incomplete dominance, none of the allele is going to show on the phenotypes. Proceeding forward, let us now look at the codominance, the third type of dominance. So this is a situation where both alleles are expressed equally. It's a 50-50 bond. A genetic scenario where neither allele is dominant or recessive and both get expressed. So they have equal powers. So an example in our flower here, it has the allele which is dominant of red, denoted by capital R and capital R. Then we have a white flower. The allele is dominant, homozygous dominant. It is represented by white W capital and another W which is capital. So when they do the crossover, you get a red and white flower, both of them red and white, red and white. It means all the alleles have been represented in a halfway manner. So you can see the plant, it has some pigments of red and some pigments of white. So both the alleles have been expressed equally. It's a 50-50 deal. Still looking at another example of codominance, we have a white cow and a red cow. When they merge together, they fertilize, they're going to produce a cow that has both the colors. For example, in our illustration, the roan which has been produced, it has white color with brownish pigments. So all the colors have been incorporated, so all of them can be easily seen in the phenotype. So let us look at a test cross. So this is a cross between individuals of a known genotype with a recessive individual. They are used to determine the unknown genotype, whether it is a homozygous allele or it's a recessive allele. So in this case, we do not know one of the genotype, but we know the F1 generation or if it's the F2 generation. For example, if you get 100% of purple flowers, then the unknown parents, so we have one type of, we know the one type of parent, but we do not know the other type of parent. So if you get all of them as purple flower, it means the other flower, the other parent is the homozygous dominant. So if you cross all of them together, you get 100% of purple flower. Or if you get 50% of white flowers and 50% of purple flowers, then the unknown parent is supposed to be a heterozygous allele. So in our illustration, still the same there. So we have the recessive allele. Then we want to know if the other parent was either a heterozygous or a homozygous. But if you match them up, you'll realize that if you get 50% and the other 50%, it means that the other parent was a heterozygous. Then still looking at another example, so in this case a test cross, we use it to determine the genotype of one parent. It's like we are given one parent and the product. So we are supposed to find out the alleles or the genetic makeup of the other parent. So for example, in this flower here, this is a dominant phenotype. The allele distribution is unknown. So for one parent is unknown, while for the other parent is known. So it can either, if you get the products, they are all of them the same, it means either they are homozygous, recessive, like in the first part. We know the heterozygous, which is small p and the small p are represented like that, but we do not know the other parent. So it's like a guesswork. So we put the homozygous dominant to see if all the first generations are going to be all purple. So if you put the P's, all of them up there, it's going to give you all of them purple. So all offsprings are purple, therefore the unknown flower was a homozygous dominant. While in the other case, we have one type of parent which is the homozygous recessive. If you put the heterozygous, it means half of the offsprings are going to be white, therefore the unknown flower was a heterozygous. So this one is used to determine the genotype of one parent. If you are given the genotype of one parent and the other parent you are not given. So that has been our lesson for today, and I'll leave you with an assignment. Question number 1. Distinguish between complete and incomplete dominance. We have discussed that in this topic. How are the alleles for incomplete dominance represented? So for any SMS, any feedback, any questions, any clarification you would like us to notify you, so you can SMS us. Our number is 40007. You can write to us. Our Facebook page is Elimu TV. You can also write to us. Our Twitter handle is @elimu_ke. Thank you for watching. I've been your teacher, Madam Christine Okot. See you in the next lesson, and keep it Elimu TV.